wasting no more time. Dragging my feet, it's now or never, 'cause the future's open wide. Trapped in suspended animation, for too long I've been here waiting. My foot to the brakes every day, and I spend half my life just slumbering, and the other half just wandering, when nothing was going my way.
Hi guys, what's going on?
Well, hello.
That's Amber's way she does it. She usually
I
"Well,
know.
hello,
I beat
well,
her to it.
hello." What's going
Toodaloo,
on?
my little doo-doos.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? I see that we've got Kate in the house and Vic is in the house. Lady Alex, we have Popeye. Anthony. Hey, Anthony, you want to send me a picture? I need a picture of you for our Wall of Fame. Send me a picture in Twitter. I'd love to have a good picture that you like. And let me see. I got Vic. I got everybody. I think. Is there anybody that you're seeing anywhere? I got Popeye. Let me see who we got. I know everybody's. Yeah, Jody Havel is in the house. What's going on, Jody? Woohoo! Good
Mouse.
to see you.
Mouse.
What's up, Mouse?
Oh, there's Fingerman.
Yeah, Fingerman is in the house. Who else we got?
Lurking.
We got Kate. I think you're going to like our cover magic thumbnail this week. I had you in mind when I was making it, and Chanda previewed it today, and she said, "What did you say? You said it was great."
I did say it was great. I said our chat's going to love this. I said especially Kate, though. Kate's going to really love it.
Yeah, I think Kate's going to like it too. Steve Wolfbrat is in the house.
Hey,
What's
Steve.
going on? And Lady Alex, as usual, being thoughtful and calling out all of our friends and family like everybody does. We've got the best chat in the world. And it is so nice for you guys to be joining us on the dive. And I'm multitasking. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm being rude now. Amber slapped the shit out of me. It's your turn to talk.
Whap.
I
don't know
whap,
if that worked
whap.
quite as I'd have.
Whap. How is everybody?
Wait, that way.
That way. It's
Yeah,
always
backwards.
the left. It's left is right and right is left. That's the orientation here.
I'll get that someday. It's been a while. Feels like a Monday, but it's a Wednesday. Been cranking away, survived. I had a very busy week. I had a plumber come destroy my kitchen and bathroom.
Oh, that's handy.
Pulled out a fourth child made of hair out of my bathroom. It was quite nice. And I was just busy. I had people all over the place. I was running around. Chickens are alive, and I'm sick of teenage chickens in my kitchen.
I bet
Teenage
you
chickens.
are. Yeah, you're going to be able to get 2 new chickens here pretty soon when you come down this direction. We got 'em
Oh, that's
out.
right. Joey's got new chickens, huh?
Yeah, they made their way out to the chicken area in the baby chicken area in the chicken coop, and they're growing like weeds. So Mastermind Hour just joined. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Mastermind?
Yeah, remember everybody, INN is currently going on right now. If you want to watch us on the rerun and run over to INN, our feelings won't be hurt, but we've got a pretty good show tonight, and anytime we have Sister Amber on, it's a great show. And that's just that's the truth, and I'm sticking to it. Chanda, how are you feeling today?
Like shit, but thanks for asking.
Hey, yeah, I always like to ask, you know. So I hope everybody else is feeling better than we are, because I'm really under the weather too. I woke up with nausea this morning, and I haven't been able to shake it today. And I just hope it's a blood sugar thing, which it normally is, and we'll go from there. So what are we going to talk about tonight, ladies?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that.
Yeah. Well, who's first? on the
R.I.P.
deck?
to our friend Norm. He passed away this week.
Yeah, Norm.
Oh, Mr. Went, George, is that
Yeah.
George Wendt? Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. You know, I'm considerably older than both of you, and I'm watching my friends and everybody I grew up with die, and I'm saying, Jesus, lucky I'm still here. But I hate all the pop culture people that we fell in love with as we're growing up going away. But some of them are hanging in there. I mean, Dick Van Dyke, he's bucking 100, and Clint Eastwood.
Oh, the Dems will roll him out to vote. You know
yeah.
that.
They'll pull the Charlton Heston thing. It'll be the Jimmy Carter all over the
The
thing.
Jimmy Carter all over again.
So, just off topic before we start the show, what do you think of Bruce Springsteen these days?
Oh, God.
The boss
About
is
as much as I speak of Bono or Madonna.
Yeah,
Beyonce
exactly.
Or
What
Oprah.
what kind of club do they have? Brain damage club or what?
It's
You
the
know?
Adrenochrome Club.
It has to be, and I've talked to Chanda and Amber today too. I swear to God, that jab, that has messed up
The
brains
jab?
too. I think the spike protein gets in your head and kills your critical thinking skills. That's the nicest way I can say it. I have no idea otherwise.
If they ever had any, or they wouldn't have got it in the first damn place.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna go back to the Ween classic. Spinal meningitis got you down.
Yeah. And in all fairness, I'm seeing a lot of actors in the field that are speaking out for Palestine, and I'm glad to see that. And a couple of them I don't really like, but their politics are pretty good on at least the slaughter in Gaza. And I'm glad they're stepping up. Obviously, they've got enough money that when they get, pushed out of Hollywood because of speaking out for Gaza, that they'll be able to do just fine. So anyway, what's the first story we got here tonight? Is this yours, Amber? Or Chanda? Are you being?
Yeah, it's mine. It's just a joke.
It's a joke, yes,
But it's
it
funny.
is a joke, and we know that this is.
I just thought it'd be a good way for us to segue into talking about Joe Biden's recent cancer diagnosis, since we haven't had a chance to discuss it.
Oh.
What do you guys think? This doctor's in charge of checking Joe Biden's prostate. Apparently not. That's not true, right?
No, he's the Surgeon General. But of course, Joe Biden's doctor looks like he passes out bowling shoes at a bowling alley. So I don't know. You shouldn't judge people on how they look, because I got to look at a mirror every day and I remind myself of that. But not much different. So he's had it. I'm sure you both agree. This is not new. They have known this for years, that he has had prostate cancer, because I've got prostate cancer, and my oncologist went through the progression of how prostate cancer works. And just your regular blood test that you get once a year, it's got a little thing called PSA at the bottom. Is that correct, Chanda or Amber? Yeah, there's a PSA. And when that thing gets past 4, they start getting stink eye at your prostate and start checking it out. And I'm sure that Joe Biden's been past 4 for at least probably since he took office. What's your opinion on that, ladies?
I found a video of him in 2017 mentioning that he had cancer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
saw that.
The other
Yeah.
day.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's
When he
why
can still speak
I
full
and
sentences.
so many others. Yeah, I have and we all just took it as stupid Joe Biden
lying or
Alzheimer's
bloviating.
rambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
guy
could
thinks
never.
he has cancer.
Yeah. What was the dude on the beach that he used to coin? He was Big Shot or whatever the hell his name was a bad dude. What was the guy with the bad dude?
Corn pop.
Corn pop, yeah. So I was just thinking he was talking about his prostrate when he was meant to be talking about corn pop.
Right.
But, what the hell? There's your corn pop, Joe. So anyway, there is a video here. I'm assuming this is yours, Amber. I finally think.
Yeah, this is our next health announcement.
Okay, I'm going to pull the trigger. Here we go.
I think the average doctor is willfully blind because they've taken the vaccine themselves. Probably multiple injections. They've promoted it among their family members. They've told their patients they should get the vaccine. And now it is psychologically impossible for them to come to the internal recognition that this has been a disastrous mistake for their own health and for the health of their family and their patients. This is so psychologically damaging. This is very similar to the days when doctors smoked and doctors advertised cigarettes.
Tens of
Thought
thousands
this
of
was a good history lesson.
doctors in all parts of the country, in every state of the union. Doctors in every branch of medicine were asked, "What cigarette do you smoke, doctor?" In this nationwide survey of general practitioners, surgeons, throat specialists, diagnosticians, and so on, the brand named most was Camel. Yes, according to this survey, more doctors smoke Camel than any other cigarette.
And doctors were convinced that smoking was safe. And they wrote articles saying that smoking was safe. It's identical. It took 40 years for doctors to come to the full recognition that they were gravely wrong. Here we are 3 years into this vaccine campaign, and there's no major chief of medicine in the United States who's come out and said, listen, I've changed my view, the vaccines aren't safe. Nothing. It's a stonewalling of America.
Bum, bum, bum.
I-
Okay,
It's
also
not
made
safe. I'm here to attest to it.
No, I honestly, back in the day when they were promoting cigarettes, those checks from Philip Morris might have had a little bit of bearing on why they were promoting smoking. It's all about the money. And in this case, with what we've got going on right now, it's about the narrative, because Big Pharma is going to kick your doctor ass out if you say anything negative that's going to impact their money. It's all about the money.
Oh, we
That's
had
all.
our friend Tree, her license, they had reports filed on her, and she wasn't even being outspoken. I mean, I think it was like emails, like private emails that people were freaking out over, yeah. But, I don't think it's all money. I think a lot of it is that coming to personal terms with it, because they've recommended it to their families, their friends, their patients.
Well, it's
They'd have to admit they're wrong.
a lot of, don't you think, Amber, that a lot of them don't want to go back and mea culpa for their
No.
image? They don't want to do it.
Well, yeah, no, they're professionals. They were trained in this. They have spent their entire lives, made their entire fortunes off of promoting this bullshit. And so to admit that means, that they didn't follow their Hippocratic oath. It goes against everything that they know, and so it's way easier mentally to double down than it is to come clean.
So there's
But,
ego,
I mean,
ego involved too, then, right?
Oh, big.
Oh,
ego.
huge.
Doctors
Yeah.
always
And
have
anybody-
egos.
Yeah, anybody who has a higher PhD or doctor's, license, anybody, the farther up in education you go, the ego climbs right along
The
with
bigger
it,
your
I've
ego
found in my
gets.
experience.
Yeah, me too.
So the
God
reports are just
complex.
damning day after day after day.
Oh, they're getting worse. They're getting worse and
It's
worse and worse and worse.
It's astonishing.
I read something yesterday where there are not going to be jabs. This is I heard, this is hearsay. I'm not, standing by it, but they're going to have a shortage of jabs for young people and children coming up. They're not going to be able to fulfill those. Isn't that kind of strange considering the history? What happened? What do you think's happening there? Are they backing off of those or what?
Yeah, the rates have plummeted. And then also on top of that, you have the federal kickbacks have now stopped.
Oh,
So-
Well,
the
yeah,
kick money.
That's the
Trump
big
and
one.
all
Follow the
And it was
money.
interesting. I saw a chart this week about the amount of money hospitals were getting per COVID patient in their hospitals during the pandemic.
25,000, wasn't it?
Oh no, that was
Per-
the very
per
low
patient.
end.
Oh, that was low.
And very, very low end, and it depended on what kind of state you were in. And I found that the red states had much higher averages, so they were more into the $150,000 to $320,000 if you were a red state with COVID patients versus a blue state, kind of the Washington, California, Colorado,
Yeah.
New York, were closer to 45, 50 each.
That's interesting.
But if you were in Texas or Alaska, it was closer to 150
What?
per person.
Wow.
And
Wow.
where did that money come
And
from?
then they were feeding them run death is near and offing them after they'd stayed for 7 days. So
Yeah,
and that's what
yeah.
happened to my mother-in-law. Did you see the flu shot report study
Yes.
that they just did
Yes,
about
yes.
how you're 26 times more likely to catch it
With the
than
shot?
to
Well,
with the shot?
the
Yeah.
the fun thing about that was an internal Cleveland Clinic study amongst their own staff.
Holy
No,
shit.
damn.
Oh my
Uh-oh.
God, Cleveland Clinic.
bad, man.
Wow. I like Cleveland Clinic too. I mean,
Yeah, so
yeah.
within their own staff, if you got the flu shot, you were 26 times more likely
And
to
I've
have
always
the
said
flu.
that since
And
the
they
last
know
one I
when
got.
it's your employer, they know the days you take off, and they know the cost of it now.
Yeah.
Oh
I've
my
always said I
God.
get the flu more the years that I took the flu shot. I think the last one I took was 2012. I learned like fuck this shit. I just get sicker every time I take it.
Well, again,
But that's my
I
personal
I
opinion.
think I took
YouTube.
2, and I worked in public health at the time. And
I took 2.
a year later,
That's-
after
yeah.
working in public health, I had an autoimmune condition. Go
Yeah.
figure.
yeah,
Go
and
figure.
yeah, and
they
the good
suck because I have
and-
one right now.
yeah, and tell everybody why you got the autoimmune, or at least why you think you do.
Well, I did some
Um,
research today, and it turns out that my immunotherapy is based in mRNA. So yeah, that's why my immune system's over responding is what's happening.
Which is it's designed to make your immune system do, right? Is to ramp it up. Is that supposedly what it's supposed to do?
Well,
So-
no, it's supposed to make it identify the cancer cells and attack them.
Oh, it's supposed to
not
be.
me,
It's
but it's
supposed
attacking me instead.
supposed to be smart therapy, and that's why your arthritis is so, and you've got so much inflammation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So
Yeah.
sorry.
Amber warned me. Can't say she didn't.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I again, I hope that the information keeps coming out and it doesn't keep getting censored. I see they backed off censoring a lot of information that's coming out, and a lot of how we discuss things with I've read or this is what I hearsay is not definitive anything that that I'm saying. I can't speak for Chanda and Amber, so. But one of the things that I put in the deck that came up this week, and I was kind of happy to see this. I know our sisters and brothers out there. I think Kim Iverson threw this up today, but I had it in the deck the other day. First when it comes out, we're witnessing a downfall of the world's largest healthcare company. This is United Healthcare, and they're 55.27% down. And what Amber, Chanda, can you tell me what those numbers are on the side, the 601, the 513, the 425, and the 337?
Well, that's their stock price on the
That's
stock
the
exchange.
is
so
that
their
the stock
value
price?
is tanking.
So it's over 50%. And why do you think it's crashing like this? And do you believe it's going to stay this way?
I think there was issues to begin with, and there's a consolidated takeover happening, and a lot of these large corporations are starting to eat themselves. There's also a lot of corporations that have been saddled with debt bonds, so that plays into it as well. You're seeing a lot of corporate, bankruptcy and things like that. They're rolling that up into shitty packages and then adding it on to other companies to try and disperse it. But at the end of the day, it's tanking a lot of companies completely. And so I think that with what's happening with what's exposing the profit and, when something's tainted, it's tainted. If you look at Bear's stock, it looks very similar to this after they bought Monsanto.
So do you think that United Healthcare is going to change the name of their company to something else to get rid of the bad press that
Stigma.
they're getting? The stigma.
Yeah, I
the
think
reality.
they'll probably start breaking up, piecing off pieces here and there.
Like spinning
again,
off.
I'm finding,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm finding just fiscal oversight to be missing, and poor budgeting practices to be missing everywhere, from your local school board to
Yeah.
the largest healthcare company in America. There's zero accountability and zero fiscal responsibility, and everybody's just stuck in this bubble where they can't make good decisions because their data's manipulated to have them make a decision, but it's not the truth and the real decision.
So the
they're not.
CEOs can line their pockets, right?
They can line their pockets, and they don't even know that they're making a poor decision because it's been set up by the people underneath them to make the decision that they're supposed to be making.
So they're actually looking at this thing as a different way to profit, is what they're doing. They're figuring out other
Always.
ways.
It's always about profit.
So even if they
Yeah.
lose money, in the end, they're going to make money because of the benefits of
and they'll
changing
make
it up.
money. We'll lose as the end user. The system starts to crumble. People will lose their jobs. Microsoft's laying off 6,000 people.
6,000 people, yes.
All these different companies are having massive layoffs. There's an incredible downsizing because everybody just, following along with the federal government was just bankrolling everything and spend. And now that the faucet's turned off through the DNC machine, through things like USAID, where Oprah was buying what were they? She got $100 million and bought 100 jackets for kids in Africa. There's just so much like bloat built into everything. And then the people making decisions are so padded, they're not realizing that the decisions they're making are not real or accurate. And it's again, back to kind of a cognitive dissident. They're not doing their homework. They don't have to. They pay somebody else to give them information to make the decision, and they never question it.
So let me get this straight. So Oprah got 100 million. So she buys 100 jackets for children in Africa as the cover for her getting the 100 million, and she didn't have to report that on her financial sheet, or is that money still in limbo, or just straight to her bank account?
It's in a foundation.
It's a
Like-
nonprofit
Foundation's
foundation, I'm sure. Yeah.
Like these presidential libraries, same thing. Is that?
Oh God.
What
Clinton Foundation. Come on.
Yeah.
So
Clinton Foundation bought their daughter a wedding dress.
Nobody questioned
With
that shit.
USAID
But if you or
funding.
I did that shit, the IRS would be all fucking over us.
Well, the Clinton Foundation with the Haiti thing is the thing that I really was. That was horrible. That was horrible. Haiti didn't benefit but a few shacks that they put in, and then it went into the foundation coffers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's poor deliverable tracking, it's poor project management, and then nobody had oversight to care about any of it. And I can tell you, being a contract manager that deals in private funding and also in federal funding, that other agencies are not like that. You have a schedule of deliverables and you show your receipts to get reimbursed, and it's much more up and up, I would say. But USAID, they were using as a vehicle, a maneuverable vehicle. And that's the biggest crime with everything Doge has done. I'm 100% on board with, except for when it comes to now our military budget still has not shrank an inch. And until that stops, we will continue to be day and day closer to day X, which is the day we can't pay our interest payments as a country.
That's a really brave thing to say in this climate with all the negative press against Doge, and I can't stand Doge. However, they're cutting things, and I think JFK got into it with, you probably know who he got into it with, about the money being
Miss
cut.
Michigan.
Yeah, and which
Susan Collins?
which I found was it was an interesting back and forth. It was more forth than it was back, but there was a couple of salient points in there that he made, that they have just cut it from 82,000 employees to 66,000 employees, and 66,000 employees were what the number they had in 2019. Now, Now, tell me if I'm right here, and I think that Doge shouldn't even be looking at some of this stuff if they're not going to look at the military budget. I think they should look at the military budget more aggressively than they're looking at this other stuff. But there's so much press out there about Doge cutting cancer research and all this other stuff. But when you get into the weeds, they're trimming some of the fat that is sucking down millions and millions of dollars from a program that could have been, had it had the correct oversight and not been used as a money laundering scheme to buy off military operations in other places, or at least set them up. Am I kind of right on?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of duplicitous efforts too. The CDC would be doing something, NIH would be doing something, another agency would be doing something. And then, there wasn't a lot of communication when you have that many agencies also. So the same institution could be pulling grants and funding or, from all of those sources for the same thing and delivering one item. Like you just don't have that kind. The federal government isn't as sophisticated as it should be. And then you've got, groups like EcoHealth Alliance that are, out maneuvering, or the whole fun thing with Mark Kelly apparently was the funder of the agency that was working with the Chinese to manufacture the spy balloons. It started as a space program, and it turned into
Not
intelligence.
the spy balloons.
No,
Yes,
no.
the spy balloons are
Wild.
back in the news, and it was Mark
Oh, yeah.
Kelly's foundation
Well, this
working with the Chinese for
this is the-
intelligence purposes.
this is the thing that bothers
Who
me.
knew?
If you're gonna place the blame on somebody, ultimately I would place the blame on Congress for inefficient or insufficient oversight over all this shit. And it's our money that they're doing it with, and I won't even connect it to the slaughter that they're doing in Gaza and other places. But we need a whole different Congress. They all need to go, and I'm preaching to the choir here, but who do you replace them with that can't be bought off? That's my question for you too. They are bought off because they've allowed this shit, the Oprah Winfrey's, and who bought all the yachts? Was that Bezos or somebody? Oh, it was a movie star or a singer that bought yachts
An
up the
island.
butt and an island. And Congress had to know they were doing this, and they did nothing about it because that's the fucked up system working exactly how they want it to, right?
It can't be fixed,
And-
Oz. We wouldn't be able to replace people because, show me a politician and I'll show you corruption. They don't get to that level
Without being corrupt. Yeah, I know.
without being corrupt. And if they are, then they're just attacked by the inside. Look at, I mean, not to say that Massey is not corrupt, but when they stand for something, they just go after them as a hive mind attack,
Well,
So-
Massey
Life
denies
mysteriously
corruption of
dies.
his peers too, which is a big fuck you,
Right.
Thomas.
Right.
I like some of what you're saying, but like Bernie, I like what he's saying, but he would never do anything that he's saying, and he's proven that over and over again. Massey coming out the other day and saying, "Oh, I don't believe my peers are corrupt." And I'm saying bull fucking shit. That's like Bongino and what's the guy's name? His boss, Bongino and
Cash.
Cash
Patel, yeah.
saying that Epstein didn't
Kill himself.
didn't kill himself. What the
Or
fuck?
did kill himself. Did kill
Yeah.
himself.
I would-
Did kill himself.
I'm convinced that Congress doesn't have a problem ruining their reputations. All of them. They don't care because there's nothing to this point that the public has done about it because, and tell me if you disagree, this country's playing red team, blue team, and they're not looking at the issues. They're not caring about the issues. It's all a fucking game from social conditioning since we were knee-high to a grasshopper. That's how I think it is. And, what do you think? Do you think I'm close?
I think it's been this way since the invention of the Federal Reserve. Just probably the early 1900s.
I'm not
you
surprised.
could go back and I don't think it's salvageable. I think we need more than a revolution. We need a complete freaking I don't know a whole new system.
Pick 100 random people of all ages
Yeah.
and walks of life. Like Publishers Clearinghouse. Go with who's entered
Yeah,
that
they
for the
do a
last
better
8
damn
years.
job than these elected fools. For
Yeah,
sure.
somebody
But
needs
you
to-
know, when it comes to Elon Musk and Doge, I just want to say, you know, yeah, I'm glad they got rid of or went after USAID, whatever. But you know, as far as it was a data collection with
That too, yeah.
the entities that they chose to go and audit and go into. It was about getting data and getting information because they didn't go into anything like the military or, you know, they went into Social Security. They went into the places where they could come after us and our money. So they needed the data for that. And when asked, Elon this week said that he's done spending money on politics. He's over it. He's not going to invest any more money into politics.
And that data is being fed to their AIs while we speak. That's
Yeah,
where it's
he's
going.
building his AI with it,
Yeah,
so.
that's where it's going. Are we about done with this subject? Do you want to read this background, or we got more on this?
Well, this meme goes directly to it. So, just how many pharmaceutical reps does a doctor meet with throughout their career? And just as this doctor who saved all of the pins ever given to him by a drug rep still think doctors aren't heavily influenced? I mean, holy shit, look at how many pins that dude collected.
Oh yeah, I've been around.
And they give you more than pins.
Oh
they give
yeah,
you way more than pins.
they
you want
give
a
you
weekend vacation to,
junkets,
you know,
yeah. Junkets,
you
yeah.
want to go to Mexico, yeah.
golf
you know.
course memberships and
Yeah.
parties all the time. Oh joy! I don't know if that goes in line with their Hippocratic oath directly either. Does it, Amber?
It's part of the business plan.
Business plan. That's how business works, right? Yeah, and to think a lot of us are in the care of doctors with this moral dilemma. That's not a dilemma. It's fucking corruption. So, you know, but they would say
me but what are you going to do?
well, yeah, I mean, what are we down to as far as healthcare in this country? 60 something now? Weren't we 39 like 10 years ago? We're down in
5
the
years
60s.
ago, I think.
5 years ago. That's scary as hell. And you know, God, my brother lives in Scotland, and he says their national health care is going in the toilet because they're not funding it. They're trying to crush it.
Canada too.
And Canada too. Hey, all our Canadian people, you having a little trouble with your Canadian health care because ours sucks. So, you know, you can't let a private company come in. You've got to force these politicians, which I don't see any way of doing it, to fund your healthcare system instead of a military, mass military operation. If we had not allowed the military industrial complex to take everything over, we could have nice things in this country. We could have bridges that aren't falling apart. We could have real health care. We could have a healthy society. But no, we want to make bombs so we can take other people's shit. Can you add anything to that?
But Israel, they need healthcare too.
Oh my God. We're paying for their health care, aren't we?
Well,
And
you
they're
know, Bernie Sanders says the whole reason that we can't get health care is because the Dems are corrupt.
Okay. So this is it right
But they're
here?
his friend. Yeah, they're his friends, but they're corrupt.
Okay. All right. Fuck. Jesus Christ.
Bro it up.
I have to ask this. I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you. We have a question we want to ask about what happened to you in 2016 with this Bernie Bros movement, where your followers are seeing they have a racism problem, a misogyny problem. Do you think that's a super PAC thing behind that?
That was the Democratic establishment. That was the.
Wow. Okay.
You know, that was just, they were sitting there. We had a lot of young people. We had people of color, and you know, they create this kind of myth with the help of the corporate media and all that stuff.
You know, it's kind of interesting to that note is during this election, the podcast space, which the Democrats largely avoided, they feel had some influence in the election, and they started to label us the podcast bros and said that we were sexist and we were racist and bigoted. It's almost like it's the exact same strategy to get you out of there.
Yeah, that's what the liberal elite China does. They run away. Look, again, I would hope that everybody who's watching the program is that we as a nation have got to end all forms of bigotry, right?
Yes.
That I start off as a basic assumption.
Unless it's to your close friends, right?
Yeah, whether it's racism or sexism, homophobia or xenophobia, whatever it is. And liberal Democrats talk about that all the time. And then you get to what we call identity politics.
Yeah.
That you're black, you're wonderful, you're tremendous, you're gay, you're the greatest human being on earth.
Yeah.
And rather than say, what do you stand for?
Exactly.
Gay, that's fine, who cares?
Yeah.
But what do you stand for?
Yeah.
Is every gay person brilliant and wonderful and great? No, of course not. Everybody's a human being.
Yeah.
So the issue is what you stand for, which gets you back to what we discussed earlier, class politics, in the sense of which side are you on? Are you going to stand with working families? Are you going to raise the minimum wage to a living wage or not? Are you going to fight to guarantee health care to all people or not? Are you going to demand that the wealthiest people start paying their fair share of taxes or not? Those are the issues. And no one cares what color you are, what your gender is, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm sorry.
I've never seen 2 minutes of such hypocrisy before, or at least for a long time. I can't believe that. Did he really say that on camera?
He's talking out both sides of his face. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Talk about, are you going to stand for? He didn't stand for shit. That hurt.
I loved how they called him out, though, and said, unless they're your friends, right?
Unless they're your friends, yeah.
He loves to call the Democrats his friends when he wants to. And he always does this when he starts to tell some truths. He catches himself and he goes, wait, look. And he kind of backs up for a second because he was about to tell some truths, it seemed like. And then he was like, oh, wait, look, Bernie is useless. And let us not forget that the amount of money that Bernie Sanders took from Big Pharma in the last campaign was fucking insane. And he can say it was all individual donations, all he freaking wants.
Wink, wink, nod, nod. Yes, wink, I know.
Wink, yeah. Because his friends are going to give us universal health care and they're going to lower prescription drug prices anytime soon.
Hillary Clinton said that would never happen, and I think she's right. That's one thing where she's right. You'll never get that. Never happen. Remember that in 2016? Now, Amber,
remember when she wrote a whole book about it, and that was her fucking campaign drum for fucking 30 years?
Oh, yeah. She's the pharmaceutical health industry loves her. So, Amber brought this for me. I think I appreciate this. Let's take a look.
I got to wait in line at the regular airport with the rest of those poor people. Fuck no. I got 3 houses, bitch. Plus the taxpayers are paying for my private plane, so no apologies for that. Anyway, I told AOC she can be my cleaning lady. She's Latina, so I can pay her less and save a few bucks. Although her mustache does freak me out a little bit, so I told her to wear a mask when she's doing all the cleaning and shit.
Just a point, that is AI generated. That is not real. No. That is fake. So we have to start saying that because they're going to actually legally enforce you to say that on the videos now. So that was
no satire in this show at all.
Yeah,
oh
no,
you tell you that's not real.
You have, I think they're going to make you put a watermark on there that specifically says that they're working on legislation for that when they use without permission the cloned voice of the actual person. When we do it, we get permission, and we know it's satire. But yeah, that was funny as hell because that was more truthful than what comes out of his pie hole on the regular. So thank you, Amber. I appreciate that. Where are we at now? Where are we going here?
Well, I thought we might want to take this time to rename the show really quick into the podcast hose. I don't know if you're on board, Oz. We haven't discussed this with you at all.
Definitely, I've got some Crisco right here, and it's great lube. So there you go. And this I love this. Who brought this?
This made my heart sing to see this. When I saw it yesterday, I thought of all those front lines standing in the pouring fucking rain with 20 other people, screaming at the Department of Justice or screaming at whatever for this moment. So he could be out there in the sunshine. I love it. So this was Julian at the Cannes Film Festival this weekend, right?
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Was he seated next to Kevin Spacey or no?
Yeah, Kevin Spacey got a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, for sexual harassment, I'm
I
sure.
think that's where the Crisco went.
Yeah, that's where the Crisco went. That's for sure. And you got this, and he actually didn't speak, or did he speak at this thing? I didn't see any clips of him speaking. He just stood
I don't
there.
think he spoke, but the $6 million man won an Emmy, which is a documentary, I am assuming, about Julian. I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
That's why they were at Cannes to begin with, was for the
Right.
premiere of this movie. So incredible.
So it's been
work.
11
Very happy.
months since he has been released, and he looks good. It's good to see him, because we didn't see him for the first 9-10 months that he got out, which is understandable.
Oh, Christ, yeah. You'd probably never see me again. I mean, I think this is courageous, actually, for him going out and doing this, because that would wreck
He is.
anybody for the rest of their life, and he's going to have PTSD and everything else. But, I think
Oh God,
he's,
being in the darkest, fucking deepest prison in the fucking UK. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, who brought the Stella Assange? Was that you or?
I did. This is a great little clip. I think she spoke this weekend, and this was an interview that she did.
Okay.
When he was in prison, I would play recordings of the birds of Australia down the line, and now it's
he can enjoy it.
Just open the window, and it's just incredible. Just a year ago, he was in the deepest, darkest hole of the UK prison system, and we didn't know if he would ever be released out of prison. And now we live with incredible nature at our doorstep. Julian's very outdoorsy. He always has been, but he's really recovered physically and mentally. He's spent a lot of the last 11 months recovering. Now he's surveying where we're outside. He was in a very grave situation personally inside the prison, and he now considers, now that he sees the situation outside, that we're in a very grave situation, all of us on the outside. He's taking time to properly understand the world around him, the world we're in now, and how to help make things better. But he's still in the process of doing that.
Watching him thrive in Australia is remarkable. It's one of the most rewarding moments of my career to walk him off that plane, but to see him and the kids and Stella enjoying their lives in Australia together as a family, and watching him recover and enjoy nature, which is the thing he used to want to ask me about whenever I visited him in prison. When I'd come back from Australia, he was always asking me about Australia and home, and to see him enjoy it with you and with the kids is just so special. It's been deeply uncomfortable to open up. I think for anyone to open up their life.
Well, that was nice. Thank you for bringing that.
So that shirt that he was wearing at the cans had the name of 5,000 children that were killed under the age of 5, I want to say, in Palestine. So, I mean, he's making a political statement with that shirt.
I'm going to say again, and we said it right when this shit started, at least within the first 6 weeks, Chanda, remember, that the numbers they are reporting are going to be 10 times, when all's said and done, at least what they're reporting. And the math is not working out at all with their so-called plan to move all the Palestinians out. Now, Amber and I talked about that today. There was so many people there at the beginning, and they only said, what was it, 1.9 million now going out? So the beginning...
They're going to move 1 million, but that's going to leave 1.9 million behind if you look at the real numbers. And then, come on, how many of us have seen 5,000 blown up 5-year-old or under in our news feeds in the last freaking year?
It's horrific. It's horrific, and I'm still... I don't know. Do you two have any suggestion as to why that Musk has allowed those videos on Twitter, because they usually, when they do that, it's like bringing caskets back from Vietnam to me. They are letting those go out and basically swaying the public opinion through just, I believe what I see, and those are all, pretty much right on. Is there a reason, or is there any way that he could stop it, or what's your opinion
To drum up
on
a
that?
war with Iran, maybe?
That would make me want to drum up a war
He's in the
with.
defense industry, so
It's a
Yeah.
win-win, no
Dark
matter who
boy,
fights.
come on.
Right. It's a win-win for
Yeah.
him, no matter what. Right.
yeah. I mean,
I don't-
and it's also it's getting people to divulge information, whether they like it, whether they look at it, whether they make it all the way through.
Data tracking.
Every little touch inside everything is telling him a ton of information. So I put a link in the chat for you guys to share with your chats. There is a 1-year anniversary happening for the release of Julian Assange, and I wanted to share that with you all. It is on the Facey Space, which I actually can't get into, of course. Lucky me. But there's also kind of a call for artists. I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do here locally in the Seattle area. But we're trying to put together some kind of a celebration for the release and call for pardon. There's still a lot hanging over Julian's head, and we really need to get this pardon. His movement is limited by the conviction. He's waived his FOIA and legal challenge rights. There's also a risk around the breach of the agreement if a new crime or other scenarios like false testimony could lead to a breach of the deal. So he has that hanging over his head, no matter.
So
what
that's
he
why
does.
he's not speaking. That's why Stella's.
Yeah,
speaking.
he knows to keep his mouth shut, because what if
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
comes and bites him in the
he's-
ass?
he's
What if the Dems
hampered.
are elected in 3 years and they decide to come back after him?
Oh well, yeah, that would be the Dems are in such big trouble now. I don't know what's going to.
So where's
resurrect
this
them.
being held at? This one that you sent me, Amber.
So that's just that's the global Assange wave.
Oh, okay, it's the global.
It's being
Okay.
held all over. There's going to be celebrations in the UK.
Okay.
Kind of calling for the month of June in general, or maybe even just the 2 weeks from like the 24th to his birthday on July 3rd. Any focus we can put on the pardon, because that is the only way that would secure the vehicle available for him to be able to get back to work and do what he wants to do now that he's had time to heal and kind of reassess. I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of technology overdrive that he's just got to be reeling with, and then the world.
Tons.
It's just insane.
The world,
So-
he was locked up for what, almost 11 years. So a lot of stuff
Yeah.
passed him by. Yeah.
So he's trying to figure out, and I think obviously, the shirt he was wearing, and on the back it had a big "Stop Israel," which was beautiful as well. So,
yeah,
he's got to let her do most of the talking, and the carry is definitely still on us here in the U.S. to get a pardon through, because they'll keep continuing to set him up, especially if he does anything. And we want to support Julian, we want to support his family, we want to support everything going on. We need him. We need to talk about how we got him free. That is a huge win against tyranny that has not happened over the last 10 years. That's the only huge win we've had in all of these stories.
It is the only huge
And there's so many more people that need to be freed and let go. Crap going on with Richard Medhurst and David McBride, and
kind of keeping an eye on that. Yeah, Daniel McBride, and at least Leonard Peltier is home and breathing fresh air. That was another win.
Scary.
After an entire life in prison. I mean, it's just
entire life.
So
it's insane.
So I have a question. We're going to have a session in school here after this video right here.
This video.
You guys, I can't wait for your input on this. I know a little bit about it, but Chanda, you brought this, right?
Yeah, I just I wanted your take on this because you're always bringing up habeas corpus. So let's see.
Okay, here we go.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am.
Suspend their
habeas
right
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the live free or die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never.
Let us be clear, though,
It has never been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress.
What a bimbo.
I don't know about retroactive approval either.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't either. So, again, that's screwing with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights is not even something that I think should be bantered around by these fools in Congress, these two teams. But what do you think about Noem not knowing what habeas corpus actually is?
She's a Trump sycophant, obviously. The president has the right to do whatever the hell he wants. I mean, that's all I heard there is Trump ass licking.
Yeah, I don't think she doesn't know what it means or how it's been used. I think she had an agenda, and it was to defend Trump and his possible suspension of a very, very important right.
Yeah,
which we've warned everybody, once they come for one, they'll come for you. And
the thing of it is people are under the assumption that Obama suspended or stopped habeas corpus. He didn't. It's the NDAA had language in it that the government's authority to detain terrorism suspects indefinitely, and this is the ongoing battle. But for Trump to, just out of his butt suspend habeas corpus, no, that's Congress. That takes a vote of Congress. And I'll say this: Congress is the only entity that has the right to declare war, and these presidents that are getting us into these wars through, the Defense Authorization Act is unconstitutional, and I will fight till for that forever. And that's just the truth. Once Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer and the rest of those in Congress voted to give Bush the authority to go to war, they were in violation of their oath of office. It's unconstitutional, and Congress is the only entity that has the right to declare war. And how many wars have we been involved in since Bush was in office? We had those two with him, and then we got, seven total when Obama got in office?
7, maybe.
But they're not calling them wars, are they? They're calling them something else. Conflicts. They're calling them conflicts.
Conflict.
Anyway, any more on that before we go to this next one?
Yeah. The Supreme Court declined to hear the case on the NDAA suit that was Hedges versus Obama.
Oh, yeah.
It was in.
That's right.
So, we're going to go straight back to Supreme Court bullshit shenanigans.
Hedges won that originally, and the Supreme Court wouldn't take it, right?
Yeah, he did win it originally, yeah. They'll tell you, too.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're fucked.
He loves to tell that story. I've heard it from him 100 times, I think.
Yeah, I think
I sued Obama.
Yeah, I sued Obama and won. We sued Obama and won. I remember that.
Yeah.
Who brought this?
I did. So, OpenAI co-founder wanted to build a doomsday bunker to protect the company's scientists from rapture. The co-founder of ChatGPT, maker of OpenAI, proposed building a doomsday bunker that would house the company's top researchers in case of a rapture triggered by the release of the new form of artificial intelligence that could surpass the cognitive abilities of humans, asking, according to a new book. So the man credited with the brains behind ChatGPT. Let's see, a key scientist of OpenAI in the summer of 2023, during which he said, once we all get into the bunker, a confused researcher interrupted him and said, I'm sorry. He asked, the bunker? He said, yeah, we definitely are going to build a bunker before we release AGI, according to the audience.
So he's watched all the Terminator movies, I take it.
He created the AI and then he got scared. So that's the bottom line.
Do you think we should be scared, Amber?
Yes.
Yes. We should be very scared. Oh, yeah.
Well, according to Catherine Otts Fitz, they got the bunkers, man. He doesn't need to build a new one. They're already built.
Yeah.
I watched a video of a trucker delivering to one of them. And
yeah.
It was wild.
Me too.
Massive.
I've seen those.
Yeah. And people were calling her crazy for saying what she said about building the bunkers. No matter what the price tag, yes, they're building the fucking bumpers. Chanda was doing segments on that.
They're called DUMBs, deep underground military bases, and they've had them for fucking ever.
Yeah, so
but now they look like the back of an Amazon warehouse instead of a bunker for the military.
Yeah. So
that makes you wonder.
Yeah, makes
well,
me
they're
wonder.
supposedly under the oceans too. What the fuck? You got to go deep to get under the ocean. Like, yeah, I mean, we were discussing these 4 years ago. I was bringing you guys videos of these. Yeah, with the delivery video. I remember the delivery video. That shit was crazy. 18-wheeler could turn around in there.
Kurt Boss says, isn't having a rapture a good thing?
Well, it depends on who's getting raptured. Fucking none of us are. So
yeah, well, shit. How do you know? I mean, Lawrence Fine says bunkers are us. You know, instead of Toys R Us, we've got bunkers are us now. So you guys are right.
I don't know. We started seeing all these rich assholes disappearing.
It's called The Empire of AI.
Who wrote that? AI. Somebody else suggested that.
Karen Howe.
Oh, okay.
Karen Howe.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
I really don't want nightmares, so no, I think I'll skip it.
Well, I think it's more fear porn, but I think it's more likely to become a reality on the trajectory we are on in this country.
I had a dream 2 nights ago about like this alien robot thing attacking, and like I was down the road and I looked up and I'm like, what the fuck did I watch before I went to bed? Like I gotta quit watching Terminator shit. Like,
we gotta quit bringing robot segments to Beauty and the Boomer. Christ,
yeah, something, I don't know, something had me dreaming shit.
Lights, camera, bullshit. And I put that in the deck. It got moved to where it needed to be. Thank you, Chanda. But that's what the Western media has degraded to. And the good news is that MSNBS is supposedly on their last legs, along with CNN, CBS, and ABC. What do you think those are all going to morph into? What's gonna happen? Are they going to consolidate? Are they going to go to just AP and screw the rest of them? What's going to happen?
It's going to be an AP, Reuters, storybook, one narrative, one opinion, one company. Maybe keep their names, maybe not.
And the likes of Rachel Maddow and Cuomo and the rest of these guys are just going to have podcasts and make millions of dollars on them. Well, not Cuomo. I don't think so.
I hope Cuomo's going to jail, but
who's watching Cuomo? Yeah, exactly.
Chris Cuomo doing the podcast, not Andrew. You talking about Andrew going to jail?
I'm talking about Andrew. They can all go to jail. He's complicit too.
Yeah, well, they can too. Well, that's I think that's good news, because The corporations have been crafting the narrative ever since I was born, and they are responsible, and I'll say it again, the likes of Rachel Maddow has blood on their hands from all of these conflicts that have been going on through the first Trump and of course, the Biden administration, and all of them, and go back to 2002, with Bush Jr., the Western media, the Times, the New York Slimes. They have blood on their hands, too. Judith Miller, she should be in prison, in my opinion. So that's where I'm at. You brought some Diddy stuff here.
It's party time,
I love
kids.
this.
Yeah. So there was some fun revealing parts of the Diddy trial this week regarding Mr. Combs, that they had a bunch of Obama-shaped ecstasy pills.
What?
Good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't know this?
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
It's
that's
party time.
that's a step up from Flintstone vitamins. Jesus Christ.
Right? But it's similar. So I can see where they got the idea. They probably still taste like gravel. But yeah, Diddy took them every day, including the Obama ecstasy pills.
His vitamin O.
And his drug dealer met with a lot of people, including a lot of former presidents. Which one? President Obama.
Really? Huh.
Not
Fancy
Clinton.
that.
Come on, Clinton had to be in there too.
I'm shocked.
Well, I'm sure
shocked.
he got introduced by Clinton. but then the next it gets better and better because I brought a Chrissy Teigen for Chanda.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Little throwback.
The
on
Obama
next
thing,
slide.
not
Well,
the Obama thing.
Yeah, the Obama thing.
Am I going to the next slide? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, go.
Okay.
It's the next slide, and then the video's on the one after that.
Okay.
So just a reminder, if you didn't know, now that we know Diddy was taking the Obama shake ecstasy, the best Chrissy Teigen and John Legend public sex encounter was the Obama thing, and Barack once inexplicably ordered $65,000 worth of hot dogs for a private party at the White House.
What?
Diddy was a Democratic operative and allegedly filming and blackmailing the music industry and celebrities at the freak-offs. But the question we asked ourselves, what kind of skeletons are in Obama's closet, and why was he taking Obama-shaped ecstasy?
Wow.
So video on the
It's
next
kind of
slide.
like the Clinton painting at Epstein's, right? I
Mhm.
mean,
The blue
it's,
dress,
it's
yeah.
definitely a tell. And yes, the Obama thing, that interview, I've brought that many times to my deep dives, my Epstein deep dives, where we've looked into these guys. And remember the Tucker interview with the guy who claimed that he got picked up by Obama and they had a Coke sex party?
Oh my God! Really?
Do you remember that?
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't.
I brought the
remember it.
video. We did a deep dive on it. Yeah,
Oh, God,
it kind
I'm-
of gives a little bit. I mean, it's kind of in the same wheelhouse as the whole freaking Diddy thing, right? Freak off.
Boomer memory. Yeah, one of the points that the chat has brought up, and I'm sorry I can't remember who brought it up, but nowadays with AI, you're going to see so much. You're going to see a flood of fake video. I mean, fake video.
Oh God,
So-
I see it all day long.
Yeah, it's automatically just been like a landslide. So the videos we bring, we try and vet. And this one, you brought this, right, Amber?
Well, he's got a backup fan.
Okay, here we go. Let's
Backup fan in play.
Let's play. Let's play this video.
Public place, you did it. Is this the best or the worst? What do you do?
The best.
Okay, the best. Probably the Obama thing.
John, what's the? Oh God. Oh God.
John,
What?
what is your wife talking about?
I don't know.
We heard
We're
Obama
not-
in there.
Chrissy, get back in. What happened?
We're not going to discuss
We're not
that.
going to discuss it?
We're not. We're
Wow.
not.
Oh my God. Secret Service. Come here, jump back in.
Hi.
Look at John. Look at. I don't.
Hi.
We're not talking about it. That's the truth.
And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Dan for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
T-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Wow. He was literally calling Obama out. No, I'm down 2 fans. Damn it. Both my fans have died. He's calling
You can't
Obama
win.
out, and that was a power play is what that was. That was like, because Obama was young at that point. He hadn't been elected. He was running. Nobody knew who Obama really was. Or like, who is this guy out of Chicago? And that was a power play right there. Diddy's rules by power. And that's really what they're trying to show with this trial. But there is a lot of fake fucking shit going around. And have you guys seen the fake Prince recorded a video or a tape, and it got submitted to the courts, and the courts played it?
Yeah.
And it's not real. It's not real at all. And so, I mean, that's just, there's so much misinformation that's out there when it comes to this trial.
Yeah.
But I've been watching every day of this trial, been keeping up on it. Today we had testimony from a dude called the what was his name? Not the Predator, the Punisher. The Punisher. Yeah, it's a pretty good looking dude, but yeah, he was there he wasn't allowed to look at Diddy, acknowledge Diddy, talk to Diddy, like, yeah. And the thing about this whole trial is they're he's being charged with racketeering and a criminal organization, but so far really all we've heard and seen is a lot of domestic violence abuse, and I don't see the prosecution putting anything out there that's really building the case that it's a criminal enterprise. I mean, they might put Kid Cudi on the stand as a witness that he blew up his car, but there's so much more out there. It's just like Epstein. We fucking know the people that went to the white parties. We know the people that were in these circles. We know what these freak off video SD cards probably fucking have on them, and they are not touching them with a 10-foot pole. We are not getting any freaking information when it comes to politicians, celebrities, the elite that were hanging out in these parties at all, and we won't. And then there was an agreement that was made with Clive Davis and him on the sly, yesterday or the day before, that nobody's really talking about. So this is all going to go away. They sacrificed Diddy just like they did Epstein. They're getting rid of the evidence of their honey traps that they had for the last 20 years.
Well,
And the house next door to Obama's D.C. house just burnt down. Shocker.
Yeah.
Backs right up to it.
Well, you're going to see a lot more of this because they got a lot to cover up, and I don't know if they'll get it all, but there's always somebody out there that's going to have something.
Yeah, there's always somebody.
Always somebody. I brought this. This is my contribution tonight, and I've been running off the mouth a lot, but I try and keep the conversation going. But investigation finds Kroger overcharging on sale items. Now, Kroger is now the parent company of several different ones. Up here, what is it? Kroger is Fred Meyer and Safeway?
Fred Meyer.
Is Safeway a Kroger too? No, Kroger's Albertsons. No. Kroger, Safeway's
Albertsons. And
Albertsons.
Fred Meyer.
Yeah, but Kroger's Fred Meyer's. Now, how do you guys feel? Do you believe this investigation finds overcharging on sale items? I think it goes deeper than just the sale items. Now, I was in this business for a long time. I grew up in this business. And what I found, a couple of things I'll throw out here real quick is they call it point of sale, and that's how the scanners does. The old days we used to take and go put price tags on everything, which I wish they still did because it would eliminate this bullshit. But now the technology is in there, it's time saver, all this, they say all the good things about it. But what they do is they have things go on sale so much, and they cross over sales that their crews cannot possibly get it right 100% of the time because they're physically having to go in there and remove tags and sale signs and put it back in. I am not defending what they're saying, but what I am saying is they're understaffing the very thing that needs to keep everything straight to save money. Now, when they get busted like this, publicly, it has gotten to the point where Weights and Measures has not been doing their job and going in and sampling these stores. It's out of control. Lastly, I'm going to say that Safeway in particular has the dumbest damn software for taking discounts off their scanned items. Everything, when you go into a store, you should see your receipt. It should have the item on sale, and if they have to have the regular price, they need to have the tear underneath that price. Safeway saves them all to the end, thus making it harder to detect what mistakes were made by the POS systems. Computers will make mistakes, and they all do it, and this is another way that they're screwing the public. Not to mention the sky-high prices they're doing, and they're using excuses. Sometimes tariffs are a reasonable and realistic excuse, but most of the time they're not. These bloodsuckers are going to get every penny from everybody they possibly can, any way they can, because like the health medical insurance companies do, their shareholders don't give a shit how they make that money. They just better make the money or they're out. And the grocery stores, the law firms, the police, everybody, you know, whatever aspect you are in society, it's all about the money and what it costs to provide a service and what it costs to sell things to people. And that's my rant. Do you guys want to expand on that at all?
Don't get me started on the B&O tax increases coming to Washington State, because that's also going to start upping everybody's cost of doing business in the state.
I think you should.
And your income, if you're an hourly employee, is going to go down because of more taxes that they're going to be taking straight out of your paychecks. I'm so excited. Can you tell?
Yeah.
I also
Ferguson's
worked in
done a great
retail
job.
for a really long time, and you know, it's classic. They all do that now. Fred Meyer does that. Costco does that. They total it at the bottom. If you're not watching it while it's being scanned at the register, you have no idea. And a lot of times they don't even show you that information. You have to actually go behind and watch them from behind.
Yeah, on the screen. Yeah, on the screen. And I caught my first Costco mistake 2 weeks ago. And that was the first one at Costco. But as we say, they're saying Slaveway since 93. Not so Safeway is what I call Safeway, because they're one of the highest, like Fred Meyer's and Kroger and everything else. Winco is the only place that we will shop at unless we have to go to Walmart now. And Winco's so much better with their bulk foods and produce, and I'm not doing an ad. But anyway, who brought the Brandy Cruise? And I know it wasn't Chanda.
I brought this.
No!
No, I just thought this was funny. So, holy shit, oh my God. This is Brandy Cruz freaking out because Tim Eyman crashed the bill signing for Bill 1296, which that was
terrible fucking bill.
Yeah, it was terrible bill. This was the Parental Rights Initiative, right? Amber, you and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago on this show about how parents will not have the right to know where their kids are as young as 9 years old, or you know, transitioning, going to the doctor. I mean,
does it really say that in that bill? It really says that.
Yeah, they won't notify you if your kid doesn't show up to school. Or if they are getting medical services at their school.
At what age?
Because they've done this big 9.
13.
What?
Yeah, 9.
It used to be 13, but now it's going to be 9.
Wow. Yeah, it used to be 13.
So
it got signed today. But Republican asshat Tim Eyman snuck in, and this is just kind of funny watching him sneak in.
Easy. So you should be on my right side because you're fine, right? I got everything right. Yep. Wonderful. Mark, if you want to just say a few words as well, sure, get really close to it. Okay, I'll take you and then if you want to
Get right.
call folks or whatever. Yep, that'd be great. Sure. Hey, come on in, everybody.
Nobody notices he's there.
Nicole.
Nobody knows who he is.
We got a big crowd. I love it. Thanks so much, everybody. Come on in and feel free to come all the way in.
And he's got a red tie on.
Kids always get the
Yeah, he's got a bright red tie on. Bob's just like, yeah, whatever.
Come on up. Hi there.
It's going to be so great for everybody. Look at all those kids.
Now, if you're in Washington State, this guy ran for governor, right? A couple of years ago. He's a notorious Republican. He's very outspoken. The Dems kind of sank his campaign by accusing him of stealing office chairs from Office Depot. Remember, he got busted for that.
Tim Wyman, yeah.
Tim Wyman, yeah.
Yeah, get all the kids in there transitioned. That'll be good.
Do they ever figure out that he's there?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
This is how dumb our fucking elected Democrats are. Their enemy is standing right fucking behind him, and they're just like, no.
Just standing here in respectful opposition.
Oh, one of them figured it out. Oh, she does seem happy. Bob's just smiling through all of it.
First, thanks to everybody who's here today, and all the hard work that you put in this budget.
That's hilarious.
I just so appreciate that. And so I'll go through and briefly describe.
It kind of reminds me of Alex Stein 99. I mean, it's kind of his tactic, right?
What I want to emphasize before we get started is, we know the legislators who are here understand that, any legislation to get to the finish line takes, obviously, legislative leaders, but even before that, you need individuals in the community who are out there speaking, you need legislators, and that's, not easy on any issue, right?
So,
oh my God, too fucking funny.
Bankrupting isn't enough for the current administration. They're going here now.
Yeah.
Holy. Yeah, and for those of you who are in favor of Washington state government, I would love to have a conversation with you because we're going to end up like California real quick. We have the worst taxation policies in the country here, and that's a fact. You can look it up. And if I'm not wrong, am I? We have the most.
They're calling us Taxington. We're not even Washington anymore. We're Taxington.
Yeah, and that dude down in Florida, that real estate guy that has that show talking about everything falling apart, he said, yeah, I might go into California, I might swing up to Washington. I put underneath, I said, don't come to Washington, they'll tax you to death. So don't even bother. It's crazy. And what is this?
Oh, I brought this for you. This is talking a little chat about the auto pen. It's probably kind of
auto pen.
Yeah.
Going and looking at who is controlling this auto pen because Joe
Anthony
Biden,
Blinken
he's demonstrating that he doesn't have all the cognitive capabilities they had. That interview was from 2023.
Jill.
Yeah, that's hard evidence. Early into President Biden's term as president, it clearly shows that he was in significant mental decline. It questions who was actually making the decisions. So what we found is not just with the pardons he issued, but many of the executive orders that the courts are now using to Trump-proof many of the executive orders that President Trump is trying to implement to make government more efficient. Many of these executive orders, as well as the pardons of Biden's entire family as a result of our investigation, these were all signed with the auto pen. And clearly from that interview, which was many, many months prior to the heavy use of the auto pen, Joe Biden wasn't capable of making decisions. He wasn't coherent. We think we've identified who the staffers are. Jason, you all have done great work with that over at Heritage Oversight. We're going to bring everyone that we believe was involved in any role in the use of the auto pen. We're going to invite them to come in for a transcribed interview. If they want, then they will receive a subpoena and they will have a full-blown deposition. But we want to find out who was actually making the decisions in the White House during the last 9 months of the Biden administration when he was clearly in mental decline.
I
The
think
last
it's
9 months.
more than Amber. You said Jill, right? I
think
said
that was
Jill.
a large driver of it, and his staffers, obviously, that were
Yeah.
handpicked by
Cover it
her and
up,
the inner
exactly.
team.
But I think Blinken was on the phone with them the whole time. I think Blinken was.
Oh,
in,
sure.
You think he was
But I
running
don't think he
domestic
could.
policy?
Yeah.
I don't think he was on the phone.
You think he was in there
Like
doing
they
it?
literally were. I know personal people who have family members who are Secret Service, and the guard was to keep him in the room so he didn't get out and get lost and trip in the bushes or fall down somewhere.
Speaker Mike Johnson, when he went in there and said, "Why'd you sign this?" and Biden was like, "I never signed that." Like he's like, "Yeah, you did," and he's like, "No, I didn't."
Yeah. No.
He didn't know what the hell he was doing. So he wasn't making any decisions at all because he literally wasn't capable. At least the last year, the dementia had started way before even 2020 election.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I believe so.
And the
too.
cancer before that, plus whatever drugs they were giving him on top of it.
And
we could see that.
Remember, everybody, Bernie Sanders knew this when he was there. Bernie knew it, and that's why Bernie didn't obliterate him in that fucking debate. That last debate, Bernie should have slaughtered him, but he knew he had dementia the whole time, and he just got on board with what he was told. He was a good soldier. Now, this being said about this particular thing with the auto pen, do you guys remember the movie Dave with Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver?
I love Dave. That was a great movie. Didn't we watch that? I think one of our movie nights
We had a watch party.
Yeah, it was great. And Frank Langella was the Secretary of State for Dave, for the guy back then. Crooked as all hell, but he was all set to sign everything in lieu of the president. And that was not far-fetched at all, because that's what I believe happened with the Biden administration, the Reagan administration, and God knows what other administrations. That's when art becomes reality, and that's the juxtaposition of everything for me with our insane government. I want to ask you one more thing. Have you guys heard anything about Fetterman in the last week or 2 weeks? Did they put him in the cellar?
For a while, anyways. Bust him out when they need Frankenstein or whatever.
Body double him up. I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like we knew they were bodily doubling Biden. They knew we saw them giving him the drugs where he'd be like super crazy alert. They were doing that shit the whole time. So there's also a thing where I guess when you use the auto pen, oh no, I'm in Kyle's seat. Fuck. Anyway, they're supposed to have 5 records to actually prove that that's the person who signed it, and somehow the Biden administration has none of those.
What?
So this
it's just like
little,
a private server.
investigation is gonna be fun.
Yeah, well, don't ever come at me and tell me how corrupt Trump is without acknowledging that Biden's administration was as corrupt or more so. I just, it's red
At least
team,
Trump
blue team.
signed shit. We see Trump actually sign shit.
And I think that's intentional also.
Yeah, that
I
is
think so
intentional.
too. I do too.
Yeah, and he's holding it up every time he flashes his
Talking
signature
about it.
there. So now I know that you guys brought this. This is going to be the next candidate for president right here. This guy right here.
Well, yeah, Crystal's going to fund it for him. Mama Crystal.
Crystal's going to fund it. I'm trying to figure out. He reminds me of some character from a movie, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Does anybody in the chat have any idea?
She doesn't allow him to podcast from inside the house, so he has to go out on the back porch.
Are you serious? She doesn't do that? Really?
I think so.
Now,
he
did,
taps his leg or something really fucking annoying.
Now, does he dye his hair, or did he just turn white when he married her?
No, it's dyed. It's dyed.
Are you sure?
Definitely dyed.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Would you buy a car from him? Would you buy Fuller brushes from him? I wouldn't buy shit
He's
from
a
that
wannabe
guy.
Secret Service agent.
Is
I don't
he
know.
the
The
one in the
chemtrails are
mall
getting to
selling
his
those
head.
magnets?
Yeah, kitchen magnets. That's good. I
Yeah.
just the guy. You know, I've read some of the comments underneath that particular picture this week, and wow. Wow, they burn him down on those
I know.
comments. Like
Every post he puts up, he gets burned to the fucking ground. But yet here he is, still going. Like
and
we
he's-
like listening to him, or
and he's-
anybody takes
The
him
Ray-Bans.
serious.
and he's still got
Yeah,
a
it's the
buttload of followers on his shit. So it's just like, really, guys, really, you're still following this? And this is a good time for me to mea culpa. I apologize for ever bringing the Hill or Breaking Points to any of our shows. I was wrong. I am sorry, and I will try and make amends at some point in time. Chanda and Amber really didn't care for me doing that. And that's thank you.
If you followed us over here at Die for as many years as we've been on the air, we did take a hiatus for a long time. But yeah, Oz had a very bad habit of quoting The Hill and bringing clips from Breaking Point.
Yeah, I had a very
Crystal,
very bad habit. And at one point, and Chanda even agreed with me a couple of times, we thought Sauger was right on a couple of issues, and turns out
I agree with Sagar more than I ever agreed with Crystal or Kyle.
Yeah, I know. So again, you have my apology, everybody. Please forgive my boomerist actions in that regard. So now let's.
If only we had a Breaking Points puke bag.
Yeah, we did.
I did.
Shanda
I used to
had a
have one,
Breaking Points
remember?
puke bag.
I
brought
made
one.
it on our
That's why I
way
brought
home
it
from
up.
DC one time.
Yeah. Hint, Oz. Bleh. Yeah, so, yeah, that was Chanda. Thank you, Chanda. Now everything's
I need
fine.
to find that. It's around here somewhere.
What are we selling back here? Are we selling this? What is this?
No, but Children's Health Defense has some new onesies. Just wanted to shout that out from old Burn Dog. That they have an EMR and wireless awareness gear just launched. So you too can buy some great swag to help support a great cause, because they've launched the 704 No More campaign, which is going after the licensing of wireless tech and how they have carte blanched it through the FCC. So you can check out the long link, or just go to chdstore.org, find the Bernie Bros onesies. Ignore all that long part if you need to, but you can click it in there if you want to go straight to the EMR and wireless awareness gear. They've got some cute stuff, and yeah, we need more people to get hardwired and drop the iPod or the Apple Bluetooth headphones that microwave your fucking brain from the inside out. So
They do?
please, hardwire.
Hardwire.
Yeah, I got rid of mine.
You mean my wireless earbuds is what's wrecking my brain? I thought it was putting the phone up next to it was wrecking it.
That does it too, and especially don't touch it if it's plugged in, because it goes right into you.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Well, maybe that's why I'm so fucked up. Anyway, well, I think that's it for the show. And we're right on time. But we do want to pimp our show for Saturday night, don't we, Chanda?
Damn, that's some good hair.
Pimp it like your Diddy.
Yeah, Beauty and the Boomer After Dark will be back Saturday night, and we've got some hell of a good music and magic thumbnail, and you can see the theme there. We hope you guys enjoy it. Looking forward to that one. And then, Chanda, you're going to have Hello Monday again, right?
Hello Monday. Oh yeah, we do a recap of everything we saw over the weekend, and yeah, there's always lots to talk about and fun to be had. I'm trying to get my color figured out. Something went hanky on my color on my screen.
We'll get it. We'll get it fixed. And Amber, you got anything coming up?
I am hoping to do a Brave New Future on Tuesday. It's been a little, it's been a rocky return. I've had a lot of chaotic life events over the last couple weeks, including some medical stuff with my kiddos, but I think I'll be able to knock one out. Have some good stories from whatever my weekend turns into being.
And then is that Tuesday night, 7 p.m.
Yep,
Pacific?
Tuesday at 7.
Okay. All right. And after that, we're just going to play it by ear like we always have because of cancer and other life situations that keep us...
Life,
yeah. Life in general. So anything, we're done here. So you guys, last words, both of you? Last statement?
it's always fun to come hang out with you two, shoot the shit, and talk about crazy things going on in the world.
Yeah, we'll have to...
Bros not bros.
We'll have to do this again when we can. And Wednesday night's best for Amber, I think. So that's when we do it. It works well for us. And I guess we're out of here, guys. Thank you, everybody in the chat that joined us tonight. And we hope to see you Saturday night for another episode of Beauty in the Boomer. We are out of here.
wasting no more time. Tracking my feet, it's now or never, 'cause the future's open wide.